Hello again, and welcome to another episode of 177 Nations of Tasmania. Now, when I was a child, made in Taiwan was something I read on all the toys, the Matchbox cars, the electronic games. For me, it became this mysterious place about which I knew nothing, except as a kind of fantasy land in my imagination full of gigantic toy shops and factories. In fact, Taiwan is a very small island nation, which is about half the size of Tasmania, and yet with a population almost equal to that of all of Australia. In this episode, I talk with Aki, who was born in Taipei and arrived in Tasmania around 10 years ago as a working holiday maker. In this episode, we talk about dealing with the fierce competition for education and jobs in Taiwan, the importance of ancestor worship in Taiwanese families, and her decision to get out of her comfort zone by moving to a small country town south of Hobart and working at the local pub. We also talk about meeting her partner through work at Tassal, and then the stress of going through the arduous partner visa application process.
As people know, Taipei is quite busy city, as a Tokyo, as a Seoul, and I was lucky because I was actually born a little bit like a not countryside, but it's more peaceful, quiet area in the Taipei city. And for people who live around us, we all think about more like the teacher, people have more higher education, not anything relates with the business. So I was quite lucky to grow up in this kind of environment, but everyone was so stressful as well.
So stressed.
Yeah, just so many competition in our education. So I think maybe in the Mark podcast as well, you understand a lot of the kids, they have to be sent to learn so many things when they grow up. Because my father is always working in the Thailand and China, so my mom is only the one to looking after us. And all my experiences about if once we finish school at 4 o'clock, we just walk to after school by ourselves straight away, and she will pick us up at 7 or 8 o'clock. So that's kind of the growth environment I grew up because my parents, they are so busy and to focus on their job. There was no work-life balance. There was so many workloading for the people in the Taiwan back in the time. And especially you try to ask for a woman who looking after the kids and earn income on the same time. And it was not easy job until I realized with my family in Australia. So I was really not good girl when I judge my mom the time. I would think about, mom, you just not working hard enough, doing the housework. So that's how I see when I grew up. However, now I really need to apologize to mom because I know it's not easy and I was be spoiled and I didn't know that. Yeah, because everyone just trying to working harder as well. So as my parents, they all working in the factory when they start as well, nearly 40 years ago. And all I see is about they actually try to doing some self-education. As my mom, she working from the factory worker, become a reception, and later on she become a payroll of the HR department. So back at the time, I didn't know that was really stressful moment for them. As a kid, you never know what's going on with the parents. All you know, just have the food, watching TV, and follow what they say to do your housework, do homework. So now I realize that was really pressure to live in Taiwan.
And you said you had a sister. Did you have any other siblings?
Yeah, I have the one younger sister. We're just 1 year different. And right now she's in the UK. But my sister is the one inspired me a lot because I'm the oldest one. The oldest one in the family always carry a lot of plate. And we take all the responsibility. And my sister is the one, we can't say she doesn't care, but she is more like enjoy the freedom to do everything she wants. So that's why when she come to the Australia to go to the UK, I'm the one actually open my say, oh, I actually don't need to force myself to do something I don't want. I can just do something as my sister. My father is actually live in the city side. My mom is actually live in the countryside, and my all my relative all around the Taipei. But however, there's a company people actually only go for because there's no many opportunity around the area. So all my uncles, my grandma, my auntie-in-law, my mom, my father, we all work in the same company,
Okay.
which is supply whole our family. So that's why we were so close. I really like the kind of environments and around my family from my mother's side because they are really peaceful. They are really like the working as a team. Even your auntie-in-law, they actually treat you as their own daughter. Yeah, but compared with my father's side, it's totally different.
Okay.
It's sleep the half and people more violence in the family. So I always close to the relative from my mother's side.
And like, so did you get together a lot for celebrations and things like that?
Yes, about my family from my mother's side, we always celebrate the Lunar New Year, or we doing a lot of like the Mother's Day as well, and also we will do all the activity together. We even go to like the because in Taiwan we kind of have the kind of the traveling from the companies go to overseas once a year, or you can traveling in the Taiwan once a year. So our family is really strong, connect to each other. So we always organize a trip together. So I really never see the kind of the family compare with the other family because they can decide everything together, and no matter they are really from this family or not, everyone working as a team. So we actually just catch up like a once a week or once the fortnight. Yeah, that's how close we were. However, I didn't see that in my father's family. Very different.
Yeah, because what you describe is sort of what I think of as the more traditional Asian style way family of everyone working together, which is very different to Australia. I think where we're not always so connected. That sort of led me into another thing I heard about Taiwan is that I believe in Taiwan, and I think this is true in China, but maybe the traditions are different in Taiwan, that you do ancestors and ancestor worship is quite important. Is that right?
Yes, so we actually need to do more like an answer thing, maybe 3 times or 4 times a year. So one will be the Lunar New Year, and also another one we call like a go to their, how do you call that one? Just the,
Shrine?
yeah, so we did like once a year with the family. Yeah, and another time I think is more like the during the we have the ghost month.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a lunar calendar in the July. So we need to actually doing something to make sure they are peaceful before they come out. So because we all say the ghost month, everything will come out, even they are your family as well. So we need to make sure they are calm, they are okay, and so we will pray. Yeah. So we have like a 3 to 4 times, or sometimes some family will do once a month, just for the lunar calendar.
So by that you mean that people you have to give your ancestors some attention in a way by praying or visiting the shrine.
We do that as well, but we're just trying to send them money and food all the time.
Okay.
So we will actually make a real food in front of them. They can smell, they can actually enjoy the food they had in the past. And we will send a lot of fake money and to make sure they have the money to support them underneath or in heaven. And also we will send them a house and the car, just making a fake one.
Okay.
And we even making a fake people to serve them. So it's really, really interesting culture.
So at school, what kind of student were you? Were you a very diligent student?
I can't say I'm very diligent, but I'm kind of person I like to try a lot of things. But the big thing I really want to do is actually to become an artist.
Okay.
So I was really good with the art all the time. I always get A plus, and I always get a lot of the award about my art till the grade 9, because my father say that's really not useful job in the future. So I have to force myself to study harder to go to the public school, because in Taiwan public school is a better school, not like the Western school. So my father just said to me, if you don't go to the public school, I will not pay your study fee. So
what do you mean by public school?
so in the Asia, we actually need to doing like the exam before the grade 10, and we don't actually can choose the school we want. We actually only can choose a school by our score.
Okay.
Yeah, so we need to study very hard and to achieve the highest goal and choose the school we want. However, the school always pick out the highest goal for attract the people to go to their school. So it's really stressful because you need to make sure you got a really highest goal to go to the best school in the Taipei. My dream job is doing like advertising. So if you want to do the advertising, you need to go to the art school. You need to do anything with how to design everything. And the really best school back at the time was private one. And my father just think about, no, I spent so much money on you. I don't want you to go to the private school. So that's why he gave me the last order. If you go to the private school, I will not pay the money for you. So I try my best. And later on, yes, I did get a public school in the end. But let's just start my stressful life again.
So what did you study at university?
I was actually study the banking and finance.
Okay.
So people around me are working in the bank. But I know this kind of a job I will not enjoy. Even I'm really good with the numbers, but I'm really kind of the outgoing person in my friends group all the time. I'm the kind of person I like to try something new. I like to learn the skill. And that's why nowadays when I talk to my friends, I say, wow, I never know I'm really good with the presentation. And my friend just joking at me, yes, because you don't focus on, otherwise you can do that. So they understand my personality, but they always put me on the stage to do the presentation, but they are the one to do the hard work, but I'm the one to do the socialize and the speaker. Yeah.
So you ended up doing banking and finance, but it wasn't your original choice.
No.
It was more a practical choice.
Yeah, just because I thought it's something my father will be proud, which I didn't know he is actually do the trade. So I should study business administration for fit what he likes. But in the end, I really enjoy the time I was in the university and the friends I make. They are really supportive, and I got a lot of knowledge from them as well.
What brought you to Tasmania? What were the circumstances of you coming here?
The reason I'm come to Australia because I want to improve my English speaking. The competition in Asia, everyone actually all study from overseas and bring their degree to where they're coming from. So that's a competition to us. already 20 years ago. So that's why people are actually struggling to find a job. So the reason I come to Australia, because there's easy requirements to apply the visa. So that's why I use the working holiday visa and to working in the holiday in Australia, enjoy my Western life in the Tasmania.
So when did you come to Australia?
I come to Australia 2013 and I visit my sister first because Tasmania is quite different compared where I'm coming from. Taipei is really, really busy city compared with the Tasmania. We are half size Tasmania, but our population is actually Australian population.
Yes.
So for me, I really enjoy the work-life balance in the Tasmania.
What were you doing before you came?
I did a lot of jobs, like the insurance sales representative, and also like the production planner when I was in Taiwan. And the kind of the company is actually have so many factory all around Asia. That's why I'll always be attracted. I want to work in the overseas, and that's why I really enjoy to engage with the different culture, different nationality.
When you first arrived in Tasmania, the initial, what was your impression of Tasmania?
Fresh air and a peace, quiet, full environment.
And what was the first job you got?
I was quite lucky. I got my first job straight away when I just landed Tasmania because my sister, she was a kitchen hand in the Parliament House. So that's what inspired me to love to working in the kitchen because the chef actually just always try different recipe. They try to use all the ingredients, not use all the paste they bought from the shop. So that's why I really enjoy to working over there.
Did you do other jobs after that?
Yes, back at the time was like the cherry season. However, my sister, she didn't think about was stay longer, so she didn't share information about working in the cherry farm. She think about, well, if you come to Australia, you do your life, I do my life, so you will know how to get a job. So I was actually working like a housekeeping and also try to working like the Chinese restaurant because at the time, if people have the limits English speaking, the best tickets to go to the doing the hospitality is working under the same restaurant, which we all speak the same language.
Yeah, I know a lot of Chinese students have done that. It has some pros and cons. It's easy to work, but then your English doesn't improve either.
Yeah, so that's why I choose another way to improve my English. I moved to a lovely place in the Nicholas River in the Cygnet.
Okay.
So I will call Cygnet as my second home because all the work I do actually all around the Cygnet. I was working in the bottom pub and in the Cygnet, and also I was doing the work and exchange accommodation, a small rose farm. So that's how led me to engage a lot of local people and improve my English straight away because I didn't have many international who speak the same language around me back at the time. So, and also I have the chance to fit the Australian culture.
So was it a bit easier to meet and talk to local people down in Cygnet? Because it's a fairly small community, isn't it?
Yeah, it's really, really small. However, everyone know, in Tasmania, depends who you know.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so if people know you're actually working hard and easy to communicate with the local people, they actually will introduce you to they know. So that's why I got a job in the bottom pub. I was really proud I was only Asian around the small town, but I was quite excited if I see someone like an Asian appearance around a small town. I feel like, wow, I finally see someone doing the same job around the Cygnet and try to engage with the local community. In the Cygnet, we have the strawberry farm. So many of the international, if they want to come to Tasmania for their extend their visa, they need to achieve like 88 days to doing a farm job. And the strawberry farm is always a place can help them to achieve what they want, because we all know the busy season just only from the December to the February. That's all in the Tasmania. However, if people still love staying in the Tasmania, Cygnet is always the place, have so many international to work for.
Yeah, and there's quite a few different farms around Cygnet, isn't there?
Yeah, the cherry and also apples. I think that's how a lot of the local people to know more international.
And so at what stage did you decide that you would stay longer in Tasmania?
I think because when I figure out the kind of the money I earn, and I can actually supply by myself, because people around me, they actually all have a really higher English school, and they all studied accounting. And back at the time, there was no many position to offer people who study accounting. That's why they have to move to the mainland for a better job. However, all I see is about there's so many jobs working in the kitchen. So if I can actually use my skill and supply myself during the study, I think I can just use those skills in the future if I want to working holiday to the UK. That's why I stay longer, and I actually supply myself study the cookery at Tassal. So I was really glad for I make a really right decision. Yeah, because to be honest, I was really spoiled girl when I was in Taiwan. I never washed dishes under the 5 times a year. However, I do a lot more washing dishes, and it's my part of the February job in the kitchen. My mom was so proud when she see me wash the dishes, do the laundry by myself. She feel like, oh my God, my little girl grew up. Even my auntie, she just say, "Oh, I should have sent her son to come to the Australia to working holiday, so he can actually know how to do everything by himself." Yes, so right now my cousin is actually in the Melbourne.
So how long did you study cookery for?
To be honest, the time when I applied the student visa, I didn't think about stay longer in the Australia. If we really need to reach the requirement for the Australia, we need to doing the 2 years course. But when I applied, I didn't know, so I actually just doing a 1.5 year. So it was not easy decision in the end for me, because the time I was thinking about, should I go to the UK to follow my sister to do the working holiday, or should I stay in the Australia, or should I go back home? Or maybe should I go to the Macau, because everyone knows it's good wages over there in the Macau. So the time was actually have a really, really downtime to think about what do I want to do. And especially I got a partner as well. I met my partner where we work in the Tassal.
Tell me about what happened.
I think I was just like most of the Western girl in the past, because I bring a lot of the American girls culture to come to the Tasmania.
What do you mean by that? American girl culture?
Just not seeking serious relationship. So I was just more like the approaching a lot of the people to see what kind of person I really get along with.
Okay, yeah.
So people around me know that. So that's why my supervisor, team leader, they always don't want me to go to another department, because they think about I'm like an Asian Barbie doll before, and people want to approach me all the time. So they don't want them to not focus on their job. And later I think my partner is really talk active person, which attract me. However, people didn't know I'm actually really good in communication. So I think someone who have a really different personality compared with you will actually want to know this person. Mm-hmm. So I and the partner, we actually didn't meet up at workplace. we actually just people want to holding a party together, and the old bar is actually the place we saw each other on the first time. Because people actually just want to having fun, catch up after work. And when we see each other the first time, it's actually in the old bar. Even we working for there for nearly 2 years, but we didn't see each other before, just because we work in different departments. And later on, I just follow him out from the Facebook because in my culture, we want people to chase us, not we chase people we like it. But I got so many advice from my co-worker. They just say, Aki, if you really like this guy, you should approach him. I was like, okay, I will try it. So that's why I approach different people. And later on, I feel like my partner actually has kind of the personality I really want to learn to improve my English speaking for my purpose. So I actually just we just like friends when we start, but however we become a partner thing is actually over an year. So we actually feel like, it's actually start to become stable. However, my visa gonna finish soon. So how do we do? And he think about get along with his son, and it's really good opportunity. Maybe we need to think about more serious relationship, and that's why I actually sneaky applied a working holiday in the UK. However, I didn't get in the end. So we just say, okay, let's just try it, because follow the Australian rules. People need to apply the partner visa, need to offer 12 months living together de facto. So you can apply. But we under the 12 months. So it's actually a risk for us to get it work. And later we make it. So yeah.
Yeah, so it all worked out in the end.
Yes.
But yeah, that's that's one of the difficulties of those kind of relationships, is just the whole visa situation. It creates a bit of pressure, I suppose.
Yeah, because a lot of people don't understand how stressful about the money for apply the visa. A lot of people actually talking about something they don't know with their bias. However, for us, it takes like 8,000 to apply our visa. However, how many people actually have this money in their pocket, especially in the Tasmania? It's really stressful. But I was lucky because one of my friends, she understand, and she is quite higher position in Taiwan. And when she heard my issue, she said, it's okay. My money just lent it to you. So just fix my problem straight away. So I just need to pay back her when I have the money. So that's why we resolve our problem straight away, because I was actually struggling to pay my study fee and also need to figure out a new visa. And the people in the TASTAFE, the teachers, they all know the time was really depression for me. I couldn't focus on my study, and I was actually very emotional in the end. I didn't go to the school, and they gave me so much support. And in the end, they can see how much thing I overcome the challenge, and I become a citizen now. And we need to find a lot of people who are around us, taking the picture, make sure we are in the real relationship. And also we need to show all the documents as well. We need to, some people, they register their relationship. Some people, they are doing the joint account. However, we didn't have anything. So that's the main thing for us. Wow, we make it. But we got so many support from my partner's family. They are happy to writing down all the reference and everything to make sure we are in the real relationship. And also everyone try to help me to take a picture as much as we can. So I'm really glad we got so much support from my partner's family, because a lot of people, they actually not do right thing in the past. So Australian government, they actually aware what's happening. So they want to people send more picture or documents to make sure everyone is in a serious relationship, not just want to get a ticket, green card in Australia.
But it all worked out for you in the end.
Yes, I was quite lucky to get my permanent resident before, just during the pandemic. Yeah, so I got my permanent resident 2020. So when I started arrived in Australia is actually 2013. Took me 7 years to get this permanent resident. And for me, to be honest, it's a really best person in my life. And I just feel like when I look back, everything happened to me with my partner. It was really touching time, and but I'm really glad we make it in the end.
So you were working at Tassal.
Yes.
So how did you start working there? How did you get that job?
Oh, that was really interesting as well because in the Tasmania, for most of the Taiwanese backpacker, we all call Tassal is dreamland for the backpackers.
Okay.
So everyone actually try to get in the door to the Tassal. And back in the time, it was actually a huge process for the HR because they needed people on the everyday basis. So if someone know we got the induction, everyone actually, even they don't apply, they just bring their friends straight away. But unluckily, most of my friends, they all got a position working in the Dover or Margate or Humefield. And I was the only one living in the Cygnet, which in the mountainside, I didn't get a signal all the time. So I always miss my call. And if I go to the city, I will actually just check the missed call and make sure it's from Tassal. I will ring back them again, text them again all the time until I got an induction interview. So that's how I get into the Tassal.
And what was your first position there?
I think back at the time because when the HR manager, they actually need to figure out whose English communication is much better, who doesn't have much better communication. So people speak more good English. They will actually work with the locals. So my position is actually like everyone else processing attendant, but I was working in the dispatch area, which we all work with the locals.
Were you okay with communicating with the locals?
It was really fun journey for me because I already tried to from an American accent girl to become an Australian accent girl. However, people working in the kitchen before, they speak a little bit more formal language compared with the other Australia. I just start to learn more slang when I working in the dispatch area because people actually more speaking more, I can't really say bogan language. However, they all have their strong accents. It's not easy to pick up. So it was fun when I start. However, now I can speak very, very, very local now. However, because the people work with me, they understand my English level. So if they have some challenge with the other international, I actually become a translator at work. And I was like a mini supervisor as well when we have so many international from another department try to helping out. So I was really glad my supervisor back at the time trust my ability, and every time when they have their own break, they just leave me by myself with a lot of international. And that's how I feel more confident to build out my work skill. And I actually noticed that actually not only for the Australian feel so challenged to speak for the international, but also for the international, not easy to communicate with the Australian.
And you're still working at Tassal? Do I understand?
Yeah, so I was really busy girl because back at the time we don't have many full-time position coming out. So I was working the Tassal since 2015, but I was actually doing another 2 jobs as well. So keep myself busy. However, right now I just stay with the Tassal only just because I feel like at least it's kind of a job. Maybe you feel like a work-life balance, and I can actually enjoy my traveling to visit my family once a year, and also I can just do the things I like to do.
From all your experiences working there, what do you feel is the thing that for yourself personally that you have learnt or developed about yourself from that experience?
I think I learned from to know each other because I was kind of person before as well. I don't know what people coming from, and I was actually trying to figure out everything by myself, and I can understand I actually have same bias as everyone. And when we try to engage with people we didn't understand their culture, to make me realize, oh, I was not correct in the past as well. Yeah, so I think not only myself to learn and everyone to learn, and the people around me actually all will share the same thought as well. I think the most important thing is about people around me, they actually love to share their knowledge to support us. Before I can see people actually don't want to share the knowledge because they all think about we don't understand. But now I just feel like, yeah, we actually just really get along with everything now.
For you personally, when you were first trying to settle down here, what was the biggest challenge that you had to overcome?
I think I miss home. That's most challenge I'm going through now. And because everyone come to the Australia maybe because different reasons. Some people, yeah, maybe the same reason as me to find a partner in Australia. However, the challenge for us is about we want to stay with our family as well. We want to looking after our family in Taiwan, especially the culture we have. The parents they expecting us to looking after when they're getting old. Before I didn't think about I should be fit in the culture. However, I think now I become more sensitive and the more emotional and the understand where it's coming from. I do really want to find the kind of a job and which actually I can connect with the both family. I can actually visit my family as well in Taiwan. I can actually traveling back to visit my family in Tasmania. So I think that's a kind of a challenge I'm overcome because I'm kind of the people person as family. I sometimes will think about I missed so many things when I was in the Tasmania. Sometimes maybe people pass away, or maybe people's wedding, or maybe people has so many children just give birth the time. So this kind of thing I feel like I need to overcome, and especially I haven't celebrated the Lunar New Year for 10 years since I'm in the yes. So I will visit them next year. So it's really, really big thing for me to see all my friends, my family in Taiwan next time when I was in Taiwan and just try to want to catch all, connect with the people I love in Taiwan as well. Hopefully I can find a job for the Australian government because I actually think about I already know where I want to go because I love to promote the Tasmanian product. So trade department is probably the one I want to do Australian trade. So I can actually not only promote the Australian product or Tasmanian product, and I can actually work in the Taiwan to see my family as well. So I hope I can achieve the goal and I can overcome as well.
And is it the case in Taiwan, because I know this from that the oldest daughter has the responsibility for looking after parents? Do parents move in? Is that the traditional thing?
Not really, but because I'm the oldest one grandchildren as well, in on my mother's side,
Okay.
so I feel like I'm really take a lot of responsibility and to looking after the family, and also to make sure everyone can stay harmony as well as my uncle, my mom, my aunties they do. So that's why I feel like I know how my sets my goal, and I really want to achieve as well. Maybe don't know when will be, but I know I can do that. Just keep trying.